everyone, and welcome to Draw Your Swords, an actual play D&D podcast played with comic artists and writers. I am Sandy, the Dungeon Master, and joining me this week.
What's up? I'm Harry, and I play Emlyn, the Halfling Rogue.
Hi, I'm Holly, and I play Veda, the Fire Genasi Bard.
Hi, I'm Lily, and I play Fig, the the Furbolg Druid. I don't know about you guys, but I'm feline fine.
Okay, but like, what's the pun? Like, what's the feline?
The cats.
That's the pun, Harry. Cat.
Alright, sorry, I withdraw my objection, and I will speak of it no more.
Excellent. Feeling. So, last time, we kind of got off the rails a little bit. I feel like we were on a path. We were doing this Agatha conundrum. We got the ability to now, confront her and deal with this whole situation. Then it became all about cocktails. It became about cooking wizards and a whole other various bits and pieces. Emlyn and Malara fell out. It was...
The Emlyn and Malara flared up.
Gotta get cream for that now. And to top it all off, Fig seemed to be very panicked about wanting to fight Agatha so she can fulfill her blood debt and get out of the arena and potentially go to Rotun and go to the chamber where her mace seems to be the key. And while trying to do this heroic deed, Fig, as being a druid, tried to find some nature to give him courage. But nature right now is not Fig's friend, as his mother seemed to contact him, and now she knows that he is worried.
It's just not cool, man.
And Fig ran home, and I believe we ended it there with Veda hearing a familiar voice saying not to trust this sick dryad, or Fig's mother.
I don't think that was ever going to be an issue, to be fair. She doesn't seem real cool.
So lovely.
Super nice lady.
So nice, so sweet. Great mum.
Best mom ever. She's got one of those mugs.
She should have that. From the skull of her enemies, yeah.
From the skull of her last baby.
Oh god. So, with a lot of other things going on, with King's Day approaching, the execution of a giant happening very, very shortly.
Oh yeah, I've totally forgotten about that.
With with murder wives roaming the streets, and now Fig in a fetal position on his bed.
He's in a burrito blanket.
Sorry. Panicking of the day to come, and the hour quickly is approaching. It's this evening.
Oh god, yeah, it was at exactly 8 o'clock.
6.
No, it was 8, wasn't it?
6.
It was 6, yeah.
Oh Christ.
It's like you have to have like the early dinner theater, theater dinner, then you go to the theater and watch Fig get decimated by an old lady. So, where is everyone?
Veda's still standing in front of that tree, just not sure what to make of it.
Fig is in his burrito blanket, having a good cry. Like I feel like I need to do right now.
Okay. Emlyn?
I have no idea what Emlyn was doing.
Emlyn went with Fig.
Yeah.
When he ran off.
Did Emlyn follow? Oh, and they followed after.
Yeah.
But I guess maybe didn't catch up because they're very small in the crowd.
Yeah, Emlyn's legs are considerably shorter than Fig's are.
So Emlyn just got lost.
Yeah, Emlyn's still making their way back to the
Yeah, they
apartment.
just spend a while being like carried by the crowd in directions they don't really want to go before they can make it back home. And then when they get back, they're like, oh, I probably shouldn't disturb Fig anyway, and they just sort of like sit awkwardly in the kitchen.
That's fair.
Yep.
So, at this point, as Emlyn's probably prepping some sort of afternoon lunch or preparing some early dinner, or it might be Fig's last. I don't know. Veda, what are you doing since you're out and about? Just pondering at this tree.
Once she can't hear the voice talking to her anymore, I think she'll sort of back away from the tree and head towards the apartment.
Okay.
Just like walking. She's not like running or anything.
I don't think Veda runs. ever.
Not unless she absolutely has to.
But even then, it's like it's a choice. It's like, should I? There's a
Yeah.
boulder coming towards me.
You know,
Yeah.
in
Is
the
it-
films when someone's running but the murderer's walking but they still keep up? That's Vader.
Yeah,
Is it-
somehow keeps up?
Is it like graceful, or is it like
Of course.
kind of like flailing her arms everywhere?
What, when Vader
know-
runs?
Yeah, is it like the one thing she doesn't do gracefully, or is it like very, very graceful but like very slow?
I just imagine her flailing arms, her like running like a muppet going. "Ah!"
Yeah,
I mean, her arms are basically like made of crepe paper, so.
right. So in my mind, it's one of the two, right? It's either like perfect form but like just slower than a regular walk, or it's like Muppet flailing.
She runs in slow motion.
Yeah.
Yeah,
mean,
she probably
thi-
runs like a muppet, to be honest. That's probably why she doesn't do it.
Hope she screams the entire time as well.
Ah!
Amazing. Okay.
Yeah, she's gonna walk at a regular pace back to the apartment.
Is there any thoughts going through Veda's head at this point in time?
I think she's probably having a serious think about this voice that she keeps hearing and where it comes from, because she kind of knows, but she's kind of been trying to ignore it.
Okay.
It seems to be getting harder to do that.
Yeah, it's becoming way more frequent than it has ever before.
Mm-hmm.
Does that worry Veda?
A little bit.
Spooky. You know, bards typically don't have voices speaking in their head, but who knows? What's going through Fig's mind at this point?
They say you cannot scream in your mind, but he is definitely screaming in his mind. It's
Mm.
all in caps. Everything. He's just panicking, and he's like, his thoughts aren't really straight. He can't think straight, and like, yeah, he's just panicking a lot.
Okay. Is there any game plan that he's thinking about going into this, or is it just...
Not think that coherently
Are you even thinking about the fight, or is you thinking about your mother mostly?
all at once. He's thinking about
Okay.
it all at once.
Okay, so you're just being generally overwhelmed.
Yes.
Okay. So, Fig, you're in your burrito and are pondering what to do next. You're overwhelmed with emotions and thoughts as I believe Emlyn is in the kitchen prepping some food before y'all go out, and
So
Veda's...
Malara was like just already in the flak. She was just there.
Malara's not there, actually.
Or is she not? Is she gone out?
She is away out.
Okay.
I feel like whatever that awful thing is that Sandy said is what Emlyn says as well. Emlyn's like making food and sort of like accidentally is like trying to make a nice like sandwich and presents it to Fig and starts making a joke about it being the last thing he's gonna eat, and then just like cuts himself off.
He just kind of. If he could go pale, he'd go pale. Just-
As Veda like walks into the scene.
Wait, is Emlyn like in the room with Fig at the moment? Like when
Yeah,
Fig
I think they've just like put the plate like next to Fig curled up on the bed, and maybe if Vader is gonna come in, just so goes like, well, and just leaves.
And now Veda, you see Fig all curled up and
in the world's biggest burrito.
Is he just all curled up,
Mhm.
not even eating his sandwich?
Nope.
Okay. Vida'll walk in and sit down on the bed anywhere there's space. Just try and like nudge him with her butt a little bit so she can perch.
He kind of curls up a bit tighter. He doesn't even like acknowledge that you're here. Well, he knows that you're here, but he doesn't react. He just kind of curls up a little bit tighter.
Can she see his face or anything, or is he just completely wrapped in the blanket?
No, he's completely wrapped in a blanket. He's all like curled up.
Okay. She's gonna try and like pull a bit back so she can actually see his face.
Just see his little face looking all worried.
Big.
Yeah.
That the black ichor on the tree. That was your mother, right?
I think so. I'm not sure. But maybe. Probably.
Did she speak to you?
No, she didn't say anything. But I could sense that she was there.
Are you afraid of her?
Yeah. She's not a very nice person.
Even to you?
Especially not to me. I'm scared, Veda.
Don't be scared. Just like stroke his hair a little bit.
But, like, what if something bad happens?
It won't.
But it might. You don't know that.
I know you are stronger than you think you are.
I don't know if that's true.
You've definitely gotten stronger in the short time I've known you, so I'm sure you'll be fine. And if anything starts to go wrong, I'll intervene or something. I won't let anything happen to you.
But how do you know, like, something's gone wrong? Like, this lady seems really strong. She looks like she could probably take me down in, like, one hit.
Well, why don't we come up with a signal so I know that if you go down, it's you making it happen, not her. And if you go down and that hasn't happened, then I know I should be worried and I will do something.
He kind of, like, sits up. And his little ears are all back and stuff. And he's like, what's sort of the signal?
I don't know, maybe some kind of... What spells can you do that make a sort of a light or something like that?
I feel like there's nothing I can do that I can do quickly. But I can go invisible for a moment. Is that a signal?
Okay. That could be. So say if you go invisible just briefly and then you go down, that was intentional. And if you go down when you haven't gone invisible, then I know something is wrong.
Okay.
Okay?
How would you, like, heal me or something? Like, how will we know it definitely works?
I'll sit close enough that I can heal you if I need to, but I think you will do fine. It was your idea, and it's a good idea.
We'll have to wait and see if it's a good idea.
I think it is. And Agatha doesn't seem like a malicious person. I don't think she would continue to attack someone who was down or anything like that.
Hopefully.
She's an oath breaker, but her oath was misplaced, so I don't think she broke it for bad reasons. She said she broke her oath because she was protecting people. I don't think she wants to hurt people. She just has to.
Can I ask something?
Of course.
Can I have a hug?
Of course. She like wrap her arms around him.
Yeah, he gives her a hug back. It is a very good hug.
I feel pretty bad about not hugging you now, but never mind. Emmeline's not there.
Yeah, where is Emlyn? I feel like Emlyn's like sneaking, like listening in.
Nah, they're like furiously cleaning the flat in nervousness. You come back out and they're just like scrubbing, like in a very, like much more stressed than you would need to do this action, but like scrubbing the floorboards with like a toothbrush. Just talking about how they need to get this stain out. And it's just like part of the wood. Yeah, it's like one of the knots on the wood. They're very stressed. They just don't know how to show it. Like show the emotion healthily.
Did Fig know what time it is by looking out the window?
It's probably like 1-ish.
Okay.
Because it was like 12 when you had this cold conversation of the fight. It was going to be at 6, and then you ran back here, and it takes a little bit to get here. So
Okay.
Bedell, yeah, I was gonna say she'll like pick up the sandwich and like move it closer to him and be like, yeah, eat this. You need your strength.
Oh, thank you. He's gonna eat it very sadly and slowly.
using the bread to wipe some tears away.
Yeah, but then it's like, he's like, I want more sandwich. So he goes to make more sandwich.
It's like prawn cocktail or coronation chicken.
It wasn't
Nice.
like a whole loaf of bread though, which is what he needs right now.
Yeah. I just mean it was like a filling that I don't know. I have a really sad idea about the fillings that Emlyn likes. And they're all like maybe like a little weird, a little old fashioned.
I was going to say, I feel like Emlyn's taste in sandwich is exceptionally British.
Yeah, 100%.
Okay. Is there anything you guys want to do leading up to the fight, or we just want to bash this out?
I think we're all just being nervous.
Okay.
Well, that's what Veda's planning on doing. Being nervous, but not lying on at all. She's like, no, it's fine. Everything's fine.
Okay.
Nothing to worry about. But
I mean,
she's
like,
at the same time, like, oh no.
Fig has plants in his room, right?
Yeah.
They are being moved. He's moving them somewhere else. They're not going in his room anymore.
Oh,
Okay.
The worst druid ever.
Burn the forest.
I feel like for my own like personal level of nervousness, we should just fast forward to the time, unless anyone wants to do anything.
Oh,
Okay.
Fig also takes one of his rocks.
Okay. Is there one specifically you're taking, or is it just...
Last week, but last time, but I don't remember. I think his name was Edgar.
It's probably something correct.
I'll take one called Edgar. He's got a little
Okay.
frost on him.
Does Malara come back at any point before the fight, or is she still gone?
She's still gone.
Did Fig give Veda a letter last time?
Give Emlyn a
Okay.
letter.
Give Emma
Yeah.
a letter. Okay, yeah.
Which is a very odd choice, I thought, but...
All right. Hold on.
Well, to be fair, as soon as you got it, you were like... As Fig was like, oh, read this if I die, and you were like, nah, I'm just going to read it when I get home.
Did you? Did
Oh,
you read
yeah,
it?
have I
What
read
does
it?
say? No.
Has Emlyn read it?
No, you didn't read it.
Well, I'm reading it now. So. They have.
Have you got it, though?
I think it just said I don't have it. I think it just said it just said find my family. I think that's all it said.
Oh God. Man, I was upset about you taking the rock with you. I'm so tense.
I think it said like I love you guys, find my family or something.
Oh, no.
Man, all right. Well, then I guess when you see Emlyn cleaning furiously, they're also just like weeping, just trying to hide it. Like,
Okay. So I feel like as we're leaving the flat on Lullaby Lane, there's this like apprehension to even open the door to leave the flat, as you eventually get up the courage and you begin to leave.
I feel like Emlyn has got more speedy in their stress.
Mhm.
I feel like it's Emlyn that throws the door open and is like, "Come on, let's go. We don't want to be late," as if it's like a school trip.
Come on, kids.
Yeah.
Fig will hold someone's hand if anyone takes his hand as well.
Veda will hold his hand.
Fig in the middle, Veda's at one side, and Emlyn's at the other.
Yeah.
Just like, whoa.
Can Emlyn even reach Fig's hand?
I was gonna say that would just. I feel like Emlyn would be embarrassed to try and hold hands because they'd have to reach
Emlyn-
up.
Emlyn can like hang on to his like trouser leg or something.
I was gonna say like Fig takes Veda's hand, but I didn't want Emlyn to feel left out.
No, I think it's-
Emlyn
no,
can
no,
hold
no.
Veda's hand. Will be a chain of support.
I want Emlyn to just feel a little bit left out.
Aww.
I just think it works with the character.
Emlyn, absolute like victim complex over
They definitely do. Like, it's very obvious, like, why Fig has gone for this option, and Emlyn is still like, 5% hurt. Could have reached up, but never mind.
Emlyn's so difficult. I love it.
Yeah, I think they would have been more embarrassed if Fig had gone for it.
Yeah. They purposely put themselves on the right side of Fig, and so they would have to want to hold hands, like not with Veda's side.
Yeah, they're definitely offended either way.
I'm gonna die tonight.
Nope. That's not going to stop Emlyn being petty.
So, as we move away from the Merchants Run district and Lullaby Lane and head down into the more slummier places of Zundaria, you make your way down into this building, the arena that looks like the Globe Theatre from the outside. So mostly a wood, and then from the inside you can tell that it's a big arena. You can fit a lot of people, and as you're approaching at 2 to 3-ish, I think, or probably later on.
Yeah, we were just killing time in the flat, all being nervous. Veda's out a couple of wines to steady her nerves.
Vader, Fig is like, "Oh, save me if anything goes wrong," and Vader is like, "What?"
Veda's like, woo!
Did you want me to cast it when he went invisible, or when I see two of them?
So yeah, you head to this area run by the bloodied fists.
So we turn up at 5:30.
Yeah, say about 5:30. And you can see the place is booming. There's hundreds and hundreds of people here, and they're actually turning away people. Like, they cannot fit this many people in. And you see people now climbing the outside of the building and like looking into it. They're all like helping each other. You start hearing some ruckus from the inside. There's like warm-up fights going on, and you hear the cheers roaring. The crowd's roaring. The cheers roaring. The crowd's roaring. And as you approach the hobgoblin who was taking all the bets,
When Fig sees all this, he turns the other way.
Veda's just gonna pull him back. I just punched my shelf because I acted that out.
He's also gonna cast. Should I cast it now? Disguise self.
Fig, I think you should find a quiet corner or something and disguise yourself now. When you give the signal, cast it again, so you don't turn back into yourself.
I can only cast it once though.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but I have to have like a short break. And then I can cast it again, but I can only cast it once.
Okay, maybe not yet then.
I'll say I'm like his nephew. I'm saving his seat.
Okay.
Can you ask if there's like a green room that we can show him to?
Yeah, I'll be like his hype man.
Okay.
Okay.
Is the hobgoblin guy about?
yeah, he's there. He's actually trying to push people back. People are like throwing coin and all these things towards him. You know, a 500 to 1 bet, pretty good.
Come on then.
Yeah.
So people,
All right, well, hold on. As in, 501 against Fig.
yeah.
Oh,
Emily
Think
already
about
put
how
money on it.
just think about how much money. Yeah, all right. Never mind.
Put 100 down. That's 5,000.
Yeah,
Yeah.
if we at the last minute. How much more worth?
Well, I mean, could probably, if Fig did kill Agatha, we could just take the mace.
Yeah, it's true.
I don't think that's gonna happen. But yeah, Emlyn put 2 gold on it last time.
Oh yeah, I guess Emlyn just like voices this idea to Vader and gets shot down.
So yeah, you see this hobgoblin with multiple tattoos, like really bad, like sailor tattoos, several
Do you know this
piercings.
guy's name?
You've never asked them.
Oh, okay, I'm gonna ask him then.
Okay. As you approach, inquiring, he says, "Oh yeah, oh it's rowdy tonight. You just head down that way. Don't worry about it."
Which way?
And he points down to the right side where you went down to meet Agatha.
Is it okay for us to watch from there?
Well, you'll have to come back up. You've got seats saved next to Frankie Claus, since you've made him a lot of money tonight.
Okay.
But you can go down there and make sure your friend's all prepped and ready to fight.
Is there like
All right.
is there like a little side room or anything that we can,
Yeah, there will be there's a cell down there. Actually, and he gets an attendant that seems to be holding people back, and he says, "Could you just look after this? I'll show them where they're going." And seeing this, they don't know what Unglegif Murderfist looks like. They only know that he's a furbolg, and now that he sees the hobgoblin moving you guys down, everyone starts patting you on the back, Fig. And there's a lot of people, and they say, "You're gonna make me lots of money!"
No,
And they
that's
just
not
look.
like, no.
Lots of people screaming, and they're like, "You get out good! So he ain't got a chance!" As you're you're led down, and the sound gets a lot quieter. He says, "Oh, sorry about all that. It's gonna be a bit of a rowdy night."
Fig's just like looking as small as he possibly can, just like no.
And he takes you past various cells where people are all up against the grates, all kind of peering out, seeing what's happening, as you can hear all the ruckus above you, and you can hear some fights happening above you as well. And you're placed into a cell that has wooden walls placed around it to give it a bit more privacy. There's a couple of sofas in here and a small table as well. He says, "You'll be called. I'll come and get you when your time is. So you've got about 20-ish minutes before it begins."
Knock before you come in.
Oh, yeah, that's fine.
Well, that guy saw Fig disguised though.
No, he's only seen Fig as he was a spider, and then as disguised Murdergif.
Yeah.
So
So he knows that it's not Fig.
well, there's not a big difference between Murdergif and Fig.
So
Only
he's
that
just not
he's
paying that much attention.
yeah, he doesn't know.
Give us grey
Okay.
fur, you racists.
I mean, you're a big furbog. He doesn't really know. He doesn't care.
I mean, as long as he doesn't care, it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, he does. Like, there's not even like an acknowledgement that you're different people. You know, you're a weird looking furbog. That's all he knows.
I mean, to be fair, I'm sure that him and Frankie Claus and whatnot don't really care because they're getting
They
money. Doesn't
Yeah.
matter to them.
It really doesn't.
Fig's just gonna
Um,
go into the room and like sit in the corner and just mushrooms start growing around him.
Okay.
He's just like facing the wall.
I'm assuming we've seen no sign of Malara.
No.
Okay. Vera, in that case, might like pull out her magic paper and just write a note to her and be like, "Where are you? We need you to carry Fig when he's unconscious, because neither Veda nor Emlyn are physically capable."
The paper flies away, and we get a scene of Malara in a back alley street. As the paper goes in front of her, she gets a shock, and there is a dead body in front of her, an older gentleman, and she seemed to be like crouched over it, and she just writes back, "I'll be there."
Well, maybe she's just. Oh my! It's like the TV show that I want to watch, which is maybe she's just like a detective trying to find her ex, who's a murder wife now.
Yeah, hopefully.
Would watch.
Some
Um,
Agatha Christie shit.
Yeah.
We do have an Agatha.
We do.
True.
Wow, it's all coming together, you guys.
We
It's gonna be
have
a
her second name, did we? No, we did.
The bearer.
The bearer.
For a second, I thought you meant Agatha Christie's second name, and I was like, hold on.
We'll go down Miss Marple, and we'll have a Poirot kind of situation going on.
Sandy, I'm ready. Let's go.
Dude, I would be down. I'm not gonna lie.
That's my next character. It's just Miss Marple.
Amazing. Okay, so as you're sitting there getting prepared, you hear screams of joy as someone else has been felled in the arena. You can hear muffled announcements as the time quickly approaches. Is there anything you want to say before this happens?
Say your goodbyes, everybody.
Fig, you'll be fine. You know what you're doing. Just, I believe in you, okay? I know you can do it. Don't forget to give me the signal so you don't give me a heart attack.
I will.
I think Emlyn, maybe comes up to Fig and looks like they're gonna put their hands on Fig's face or something, and they look very, very emotional, like maybe they're about to cry, and then they just kind of pat him on the back.
Fig just turns around and just gives Emlyn a big hug.
Yeah. And Emlyn kind of reciprocates.
As much as
They're
anyone
thinking-
can.
They're just thinking about their own shit, They really, really care about Fig, but don't have a super smart or comforting thing to say. You can see in their eyes how much they care about Fig.
Oh, that's really cute though.
As a knock on the door. Doo, doo, doo.
No. That's not Fig saying that.
Do you disguise yourself?
Yeah, he's gonna kind of look at the door and disguise himself. As
I thought
Uncle-
Fig could cast disguise self.
Unclegif.
No. You can only do it as it's a racial.
Ooh.
Yay.
It's not concentration. It's just like a
Yeah.
thing you can do.
Well,
that-
good.
Yeah, 'cause that's
Yeah,
That's
we
good.
checked. We checked.
As he slowly opens the door, and he says, "It's just Pan. Is everything okay? You ready?"
Yeah. I'm ready. And he's gonna spore it up.
So your spores come off your body. As he's not even looking at you. The hobgoblin named Pan, which is Zisan for bread.
When he told Veda his name, she was like,
Yeah. As he seems to be counting like a wad of money, and he says, "Yeah, just come this way." As you're coming out, he says, "Oh, move down that way." As you get a quick glimpse of two people pulling a body down the hallway from the previous fight.
He looks back at like Vadem and Emlyn.
Veda just gives him a double thumbs up.
Emlyn looks very sick and is trying not to cry.
Yeah, he just goes. He goes. It's fine. It's fine.
Okay.
Everything's fine.
As you begin walking towards the arena, the smell of blood is freshly in the air, and you're almost blinded by the light coming out from the darkness. Pan says to you guys, if you just go down that corridor and heading up, you should be able to get the seats next to Frankie Claus.
Okay, thank you. Veda'll head up.
We do that.
As
I feel sick.
you begin, as Pan like kind of pats you in the back and she says, it will be announced, and then you'll the gates will open and you can do your thing. And she says, good luck.
Thanks.
And he heads up the same way that Veda and Emlyn went up to.
Big, just
As-
a little.
As the announcements begin, Emlyn and Veda take their seat next to Frankie Claus in this Roman-y kind of emperor's box where he can stand and look over everyone. And it's just packed. This is way busier than you saw it before. You see people hanging over the tops, now peering down. You know, they're way over capacity for this building. Yeah, Frankie Claus, this Dragonborn. You just hear it go quiet as Frankie Claus steps up. Says, "Well, I never thought it would happen. Someone has challenged Agatha. She is one fight away from fulfilling her blood debt. And Unglegif Murderfist has taken that opportunity. I've heard that he's a nasty conjurer of tricks, but won't have any sway over Agatha's sword. Let's find out."
That's not.
As the gates begin pulling up.
Oh. I'm both very tense and it's impossible to take his name seriously.
It's actually pronounced Unclegif.
It's just like as Agatha, wearing her plate mail armor, walks out, wielding this massive great sword, pulling it along the ground, almost with a dark aura surrounding her, as she makes her way into the middle of the arena.
As Fig walks out, you see in his hand he's got what looks to be like a fern leaf.
Mhm.
As he walks out, he like tightens his grasp on the fern leaf and it turns into a big flaming sword.
Okay. So as a flaming sword erupts from as Unglegif Murderfist touches out, the crowd immediately is already like, "Whoa!" As
Veda's so proud. She's like, "Oh, what a showman."
Single tear rolls down his face.
Can't see that from the crowd though, so it's okay.
as Agatha points her great sword at you and says, I'm sorry that it has to end this way. And just immediately starts running towards you. We're actually going to do initiative so we can see who goes first.
Ah, fuck. Okay.
I got 16.
I got natural.
Oh no!
Oh yeah, baby! As Fig, crippled by fear, as now this old woman is charging you. Her silvery hair strikes off the late evening sun as she swings with her greatsword towards you. Oh, that's a 10.
That's a miss.
As she swings wide, as you deflect it with your flaming sword, she's unsure of how to approach a flaming sword, as no one else can in this party, attacks again with extra attack. That's a 20.
Yeah, it's a hit.
As she seems to get her bearings correctly, and she strikes into your side with a 13 slashing damage.
That's it then, isn't it? Done.
As a big gouge peers out your side, but not that she can actually see that.
Well.
As she seems actually physically distraught that she cut into you and there's no blood coming from you now.
Ah, I'm bleeding. Okay, I'm gonna attack her.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm so tense, honestly.
Yeah, same. I'm like sitting here with my like hands right up at my mouth, like.
Yeah. In the crowd, it's everyone like standing up and cheering, and then it's just Emlyn looking like sad Keanu. Can't look.
Yeah. 27.
Nice.
Okay.
12 fire damage.
That misses. I'm joking.
Like, what? I hit for 12 damage.
Okay,
And I
what's that look like?
attack her with my spores.
Okay. So it's an extra
Extra something. Yeah. 6.
6. Ooh, it's a big hit. So it's Fig. You get a slice into your side. Unsure of what?
Concentration for the. Because you hit me. It's a concentration spell with the sword.
Okay. Constitution save.
Constitution save? 15. That's fine.
As the sword flings out, and you've never used this scimitar, it looks like, as you slice into her, and the wound cuts into her metal and into her metal armor, and immediately cuts deep, as it's not supposed to be to protect against fire swords, and it cuts into her arm as she shakes it off. And she has an air about her that she might have underestimated you, as she gets into a better battle stance.
Oh no.
And she runs around you and tries to slam into your back with a great sword attack. 22.
Yep.
Yeah, that's 13 damage. And then as it slices down your back, leaving what no one else can see is a massive gouge out your back, and it just immediately rips open and starts bleeding pretty profusely. And it's like dripping onto the floor, and people are like freaking out that you don't seem to be taking any damage, but there seems to be blood. Is it from Agatha? And like people don't know, and like they're confused and on you, or like cheering the shit out of you because you seem to be invincible. As she goes in for another sword attack. 16
Misses.
misses. Okay, nice. As you swing round, blocking it with your scimitar. Fig, what are you doing?
Is she behind me?
Yeah.
I'm gonna turn around and thunder wave.
Okay, nice. It's a Constitution saving throw for Thunderwave. 20.
Fuck, she saves. Okay, but she takes half damage.
So it's 2d8 half.
And she's not pushed back.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's a 2
takes-
damage.
Yeah.
That wasn't very good.
As boom, as the whole arena starts shaking, and like some people at the top like kind of fall off. And you hear, ah! As her hair starts flailing around from this blast of thunder. She seems to take it in stride.
Oh, and then I'll do my spore damage.
Okay.
Take some spores, loser. Yeah. Whoops, wrong button. Yeah. 3, it did less damage.
Okay. And you see this like dark aura start rising up around her as she reaches out with her hand to touch you.
Oh no.
18.
Yeah, that hits.
Inflict
Oh,
wounds.
No.
22.
Fuck off!
As she grabs into your chest, and from what inside Fig's vision, his chest starts ripping open into a million different cuts and just starts bleeding profusely as the shock of necrotic energy just overwhelms you, and you start like pulsating. You start flicking your eyes a lot as this was just a shock to your body.
Neat. Okay. I will try hit her with my flame blade.
Okay.
11 probably does nothing. I'm panicking.
No. Yeah, as you start like panicking, you start bleeding everywhere. Not everyone can see, but you just swing wide of the top of her head.
I'm gonna go invisible.
Okay.
I'm gonna do hidden step, which is a bonus action, and I'm gonna move away 30 feet.
Okay. And that puts you pretty close to the edge of the arena.
If I can see where Veda is, I'm gonna head towards Veda.
Okay. Yeah, because you're fighting, brawling in the middle as you bamf towards Veda. That's all you want to do?
Yes.
Okay.
Are you still hidden?
Yeah, I'm invisible.
Okay.
Is there anything that you want to do, or are you gonna hold an action or anything, Veda?
Oh, when Veda can see Fig again, she's gonna cast message.
Okay.
Assuming he's within 120 feet.
Yeah, he's like 10 feet down in front of you.
Okay, but she doesn't know that yet.
She doesn't know that yet, but
When he pops back up, she'll cast message.
okay. Let's see. As you go invisible, a darkness grows massive outside of Agatha as she casts darkness. So it's all in the center of this because she's unsure about where you are.
She's squidding. Okay.
And she says, "The darkness will consume us all." As people kind of go silent with that.
Cool, that's fun. I am going to pop out of invisibility.
Yep.
And I'm going to cast Healing Word on myself.
Okay.
7 healing. That's nice, that's nice. And then
Okay.
I am going to hold action and hold Feign Death.
Feign Death. Okay.
And I'm going to yell out, Agatha!
Come at me.
Okay. Veda, you held your action.
Yeah, when Fig pops back in, she's gonna cast message and just whisper, "Fig, you okay?"
I'm fine, thanks.
Okay.
Does he see that out loud?
Well, it's message, so nobody else can hear it. Just Veda.
No, I know. He's just like, come to me. I'm okay.
With that, this darkness lingers as the crowd's silent, as you're up against the wall saying this, come at you, as the darkness seems to envelop into her as she charges forward, getting a sight of where you are, and she's going to drive her sword into you.
I look forward to it, thanks.
At 21.
Yeah, that hits.
14. As the sword gets driven into your chest, and you go limp, as the sword pins you to the wall. And you can hear the sound of the sword breaking through the wood as people above you, which would be Veda, and they all start looking down and people start cheering as Fig goes limp. As the sword is withdrawn, as Fig crumples to the floor, and she, in her rage, pulls up a final strike, sees that Fig's down, and just drops her sword to the side. And she raises her hand, victorious. As the crowd just erupts in cheer and very, very mixed reactions of this. People being like, "Oh yes, of course you did," and you're like, "Shit, you lost all my money." And there's an eruption all over the place as Fig is seemingly dead. As the Frankie Claus says, "Well, this was to be expected. Agatha, your blood debt has been fulfilled. You may exit the arena when you wish. Unglegif Murderfist, your name will be remembered always." And he raises his hand. People start screaming, roaring as he steps away. People are still chattering and everything's getting rowdy as two people come up and start trying to pull Fig away.
Fig's little, his sword is now turned back into the leaf.
Okay.
Okay. Vida'll head down and pretend to help drag
Yeah.
things. Like, hang on. I'll roll strength and see if she can actually help. But if she can't actually help, then she will just pretend.
Okay.
I rolled an 8. She's pretending.
Okay, can I also roll to see if I can help?
Of course.
Is it athletics or strength? It doesn't matter.
yeah, it doesn't
It's the
matter.
same. I rolled A natural 20. So the -1, it's still 19.
Okay.
Nice. Emma's so buff.
Everyone just picks up Fig by themselves.
Not
Yep.
quite.
No, that's what happens. It's canon now.
Emma's like, I'll do it. Step aside.
That's my boy!
Tears.
Yeah. As everyone starts lifting, and Emlyn gets one of Fig's legs and actually lifts it pretty high up, and is actually putting a lot of weight on Emlyn. And Emlyn, you're actually struggling, but you can feel the weight of this, and it's actually been left onto you as these two more burly looking people start pulling Fig away as well. But you know, it's a pretty amazing feat of athletics from your standpoint. Fig weighs like 30 stone, so it's pretty hefty.
Are we going back in the same way we came out?
Yes.
Okay. When like Veda's pretending to like pull an arm or something, she'll be like, is it okay if we just take him into the little side room we were in earlier? We are waiting for another friend of ours, and we are going to take him away to bury him in accordance with his wishes.
Make a persuasion
We
check
did
with
talk to them
advantage.
about how we needed to take the body and bury it before.
Yeah.
So we've already talked to them about it.
19?
Okay. You didn't speak to these people specifically, but like as they were pulling them away where the other bodies were going, and you can see this actually descends further down. They say, "Oh, it might stink up that green. That's where we normally put a lot of the more famousy people." But yeah, it should be alright.
They shouldn't be too long. We spoke to Pan about it earlier, so he said it was fine.
Oh, and they both shrug each other and says, "All right, we'll take him over there."
Thank you.
And they begin moving him into that room, and they drag him in, kind of just place him on the floor and say, like, rub their hands and be like, "Well, see you in a bit." His Fig is just lying there.
Are we waiting for Milara?
She said she would be here while we're just like hanging out. I don't know if it'll actually have any effect, but Veda's gonna cast Cure Wounds on Fig just in case it actually helps, because he's still bleeding even if he's not actually dead.
Yeah, you cast Cure Wounds.
She's gonna cast it at 2nd level.
Okay.
No wait, 3rd level.
Ooh.
12. 12 feeling.
Oh, that's a 2 and a 1 on that.
No. Some bad rolls.
Not feeling it.
No. It just didn't work very well because of his spell.
Okay. Time passes. No Milara.
Can you message her?
Yeah. Okay, Vidal will like whip out her paper again and use another bit of it. Alright. Where are you? All caps.
As poof, in front of her. "Ah, look, I'm telling you, you have to let me down. They're my friends down there." He says, No. As Pan is refusing to let Milara come into this section, and he kind of shows the paper, being like, "Look, this is from Veda." He's like, "I don't know who that is. Sorry." And he says, "I'm upstairs. This hobgoblin won't let me in."
Okay, I'll be back in a moment, and Veda is gonna leave and go and get her.
Okay. As you come up the stairs, you pass Agatha's sleeping area, and she seems to be packing up a bag. And you head up, and you come out, and the whole place is like erupted. Like there's so many people in the streets now, and more people actually trying to come down the stairs, not just Milara. And you can see Milara is like not trying to use her fists to get past. And she says, "Please, just let me down. I have to go help my friends."
Okay, yeah, when Veda gets there, she'll be like, "Please, can she come down? We spoke about this. We need to take him away to bury him as he wished. You said that would be fine. She is with us. My companion and I are not physically gifted with strength. He's a very large man."
He looks you up and down. "Oh, sorry, I didn't realize. So, yeah, of course."
That's all right, thank you.
As she slips round, and more people trying to get pushed, is like he's like physically trying to push him off, and Milara like kind of elbows some people as she's getting past. As she comes down, she says, "Sorry,
Where were you?
I was just coming to see you. What do you mean? Where was I?
Where were you all day?
I was just out getting gifts and little bits and pieces for King's Day.
I can't remember how long this spell lasts, but maybe we could get him out of here now.
Yeah, let's go.
Talk about this later, maybe.
This is like while they're walking back.
Okay, cool. In my mind, it was close.
Yeah, so there's a bit of a walk passageway back.
I'm
to
just
the,
very
to
tense. I just want it all to be done and sorted and like, oh, everything went fine. I'm not going to be calm until it's sorted.
Okay, when we get back into the room, Veda will maybe be like, okay, Melara, Emlyn, why don't you take Fig back to the apartment? I'm sorry, why don't you take Unclegif back to the apartment? I will speak to Agatha, and I will meet you there.
What's Veda's strength score?
Oh, like -3.
Oh, okay. Wow, I am stronger than you. Yep, let's do that.
Yeah, no, Veda has noodle arms.
Yeah, to be honest, Emlyn would be shy at talking to Agatha anyway, so yes, good,
Like,
fine. I don't doubt this plan.
Malara can lift Fig by herself. Like,
It's a struggle.
I'm going to be there for like emotional support, you know,
Yeah.
cheerleading.
yeah.
Like Melara can lift Fig, but like it's a good walk. It would take her a long time to get him back to the apartment. Like she could lift him while he was conscious. Unconscious Fig weighs way more.
So if
That's
we
not
say
how
that,
it works.
yeah, no. If I'm assisting, can we make it Melara rolls with advantage instead of me having to do any rolling? I'm assisting.
I mean,
Yeah,
Malara could
That's
just go
how it
into a
works in the
rage.
game.
Yeah,
Malara could just go into a rage. She's a barbarian.
that's true.
Just looking for a
Um,
mark.
Yeah, as long as he's like out of here, that's all that matters.
I feel like we should be somewhere private because doesn't Agatha not know? And also everyone just saw this man
Oh no,
die.
I wasn't gonna bring Agatha with.
Okay, so we're getting Fig away from the main crowd of people.
Mhm.
I believe is the main thing, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Because I feel like pulling a dead body through the streets of Zundarium.
All right,
Just
you know,
somewhere quiet, somewhere
we cover his, we wrap him up in cloth.
Just like in duct tape and
Yeah, we just take the
carpet.
bits of cloth that's on him, that's on Fig anyway, and just sort of like wrap. Oh, there's a bit of cloth on his face now.
He can't breathe anymore. Okay.
Big back.
So
we weren't cramming it into his mouth.
gag him. Good.
Well, maybe you won't, but you left Emlyn to their own devices.
Oh my god. Okay, so as
What was
Melara.
something that Alexander said when he betrayed. Anyway, it doesn't matter.
Nothing personal. It's just business. Okay. Oh my god, Melara. Jesus Christ.
So buff.
Is that 26?
26 for Melara and Emlyn helping out as you start pulling him out. As you begin pushing up the stairs, a guard or one of the people with Frankie claws comes down and says, "No, you can't come up this way. There's another exit. Best go out that way. It's crowded out there." Melara, kind of sweating already, starts moving towards another exit out. I mean, this is like a whole underground gladiator holding everything. You see tons of gladiators down here as you exit out onto it. And this was in a main square right in the center. And you come out actually out of a house that's on the outskirts of this area. And there doesn't seem to be anyone in here. And it seems to be pretty quiet. Along the way, you see Agatha putting on a bag. Her mace is now at her side proper, and her great sword is over her shoulder. And it's Veda, you see her there.
Okay. Vidal walk up to Agatha. Just like, so you're free?
I am.
And now you are going to resign your post?
Fucking hate Sundaria, pardon my language. But I feel like I deserve it a bit. But I fucking hate this place. I'm getting out of here. But I have unfinished business first with the king. So I will be going there now.
I assume you want to get out of here soon then.
Pretty quick.
And you will still hold to our agreement and go to Rotun?
I will.
Do you plan to stay there long, or not?
I don't know what my plan is, really. I haven't, funnily enough, thought about it much. I'm lost without order and authority. I am my own person now. Age has taken its toll on me a bit, and maybe want to go see the world. I've been stuck in here for a good number of years, and before that, under a crown I did not care for.
When they're talking, are they just standing in the hall, or are they heading out?
I think she's not moving. If she is, it's not very fast. She's
Okay.
old, and she's just had a fight, so.
Yeah, I was gonna say, if we're not moving, Veda will be like, "Come on, let's go. We'll walk out. You can breathe the free air again."
I'm sorry about your friend's uncle.
It's okay. He knew what he was going in for.
Yes, it doesn't make it easy.
No, it doesn't, but we knew it was the likely outcome. And he was losing his marbles a little bit. I think he wanted to, go down as a warrior before he lost his mind too much, It's better for him, really.
Make a deception check, please.
It's fine. It's just grab the mace and go. If things go badly,
11?
11.
we've done the important bit. Take the mace.
Punch her.
Just
I go.
punch her and take it.
Emlyn's not there, but they would.
She's hurt. She'll go down
Okay. She says, interesting. You seem to be pretty competent with the blade, but most madmen are. And she smiles at you.
Very true.
And she starts like rubbing her knees a bit. Like, I'm not as young as I used to be. I think there's another entrance we can get out of just up here. And as you begin walking out, Malara and Emlyn and Fig you're taking him out of this little hovel house and into one of the back alleys. There doesn't seem to be many people around because they're all gathered around this main area, kind of waiting for one of them to show up or someone of news what happened and all these other bits and pieces. So you're in a pretty secluded area.
Did we want to go out, or do we want to stop in the hovel if there's like no one inside it at all? How long did the spell gonna last?
Yeah, how long's it been since I cast it?
I mean, you went down in about 12 seconds.
Yeah.
Yes, go on.
Sorry, I think it was like 3 rounds, so 18 seconds.
Yes.
And all that probably it's probably been like 15 minutes.
Okay, cool.
Does it last an hour?
Yep.
I mean, we know it lasts an hour, right?
Yeah.
And we probably don't want to. I mean, maybe we talked about this during that nervous afternoon beforehand.
Yeah.
So I'm not having to
When I'm
decide
hanging
now.
around.
But like, we probably don't want to walk through all of the streets. I feel like we want to get a good middle point. You don't
Yeah.
want to walk through all the streets with the body.
No, definitely not.
But if we can see that this is a little house that like opens out into an alley without that many people,
Mhm.
maybe now's the time instead of trying to 45 minutes get a body through the city.
Yeah.
Might be a bit weird.
Is everyone out of game on board with the idea that maybe we decided that or we can do that?
Yes.
You know, I don't want to decide it with Malara because that's just me deciding, isn't it?
Yeah.
But you guys are good with that.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay.
If it's
So-
an empty house and we know that, maybe we wait for a wee bit. Are we? Because we're like ahead of Agatha, right?
Yeah.
But we know that she's gone out a different way.
Metagaming, she would be coming out the same way you were coming out.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean,
But
if
you,
given that
you
we
don't
were,
really know that, so.
well, maybe we'd be behind her if we were struggling with a body.
Yeah, she was packing up her stuff. So
Okay, cool. Well, I mean, we wait, I guess.
yeah, I
We
would say,
go into a different room in the house and
There
wait
you go.
until we hear Agatha leave. And then we're like, Fig, everything's fine now.
yeah, okay.
But yeah,
Um,
Veda didn't know what way those guys went out because
No, I didn't.
she's waiting to
Alright.
talk to Agatha, so she doesn't know where.
Emlyn has thought of that. We go
Yeah.
into we go find a little room in the house.
You hear
We wait.
hear Veda and Agatha's voices getting closer, and you're like, oh shit. Like,
Yeah.
Put them into a cupboard.
yeah.
It's a different. As far I want it to be a different room. If Sandy will let it be a different room.
Yeah, there's I'd say there's like 3 rooms in this small like house area, and as you start hearing Agatha and Veda approaching, unaware that this is the situation, you move Fig into a different room. As the hatch opens, and Agatha and Veda walking out, as she's saying, "You know, I do feel responsible for his demise. Maybe that we could go get a drink before I have my meeting. I could use a bit of liquid courage for this."
That sounds good to me. Let's go. It's been a long day.
It's been a long few years.
I'm sure.
I bet that nothing's changed around here. And she heads out the door. Are you guys doing anything, or are you gonna let Veda just run out?
I think we want to wait for them to go out. I think Emlyn doesn't want Fig to have to try and lie to Agatha.
Yeah.
And I feel like I just want to wait until they're like definitely gone, away.
Okay. You hear the door close, and Agatha and Veda walk off into the darkness. You seem to appear into a bar. It's very rowdy, but Agatha doesn't seem
Well,
to
the
care.
house leads into a bar.
No. As you're walking through the streets, you
All right,
eventually-
okay. Just the way you said that there, I thought you just like you left the house and it just opened into a bar. I was like,
Yeah.
oh shit.
Yeah, as you're walking through the streets and it gets a bit later, she finds a bar. No name on it, but there's just a wooden sign that has 3 daggers stuck into a skull. And she seems to be quite content with this. And as she walks in, people are already buying her drinks. They seem to know who she is, and she seems to enjoy the company. And she seems to give a toast. She says, "Well, it's my freedom now. It's been a long while, but I would be nothing without Unglegif Murderfist. So, cheers to him." And everyone raises a glass, and they all start drinking.
Solemnly raising their glasses to a real stupid name.
Yeah.
Sounds real. Raise your glass, everyone.
I mean,
Rip.
He's MVP.
he's MVP.
Well, I mean, the hobgoblin was called Bread, so
Yeah, maybe actually that's like the most normal name you could possibly come up with
Okay.
in the D&D world.
I mean, yeah, there's a lot of weird names.
Uncle
Bread,
Bread,
Murderfist?
Murder Croissant.
Yeah, I actually had a cousin called Murderfist as well, so...
Uncle Fred murder croissant.
Amazing. So,
Next time.
as you have a few drinks there, Veda, is there anything you want to discuss with Agatha? Or are you happy just enjoying the festivities and...
I think like Vida's quite interested in Agatha,
Okay.
so I should just maybe like so. How long have you been here?
While fighting in the pits?
Yes.
Oh. More than 10 years, I believe. Maybe
It's a long time to be cooped up.
it is. But, you know, I've seen my fair share of adventures, I suppose, but I'm sure the world's changed vastly since I was your age.
Do you know where you will go next, apart from Rutin?
What lies in that vault might not see me come out again.
You seem quite suspicious of the vault. Did you have no idea what was in there when you were working for the Baron who lived there?
I had mostly thought it was treasure and food and all these things, but you've seen it, correct?
It is quite intimidating.
But you tried, I assume, that I did the same. I wanted to know what was inside, but
Why
no
didn't you
matter
open it? You're
I didn't-
Agatha the Barer.
Yes, not the key opener. I bear the key, and no one must
could
go
have.
inside.
You
I could have,
opened
but
it.
I am stronger than that.
I admire your fortitude. Would you prefer if we came with you?
You can. It's but I cannot guarantee your safety.
No, that's fine. No one can guarantee that. We have a few things that we need to do in Zundaria. Would you be willing to wait for us? You don't have to wait in Zundaria. We could meet you halfway or something.
Well, I want to go have my meeting with the king
Of course, of course.
probably soon. But the one thing I do know about the vault is that no matter what kind of magical light or anything that I try to pierce into it, I could never see what is inside. No matter what elf or person that could see in the dark, because I'm not gifted with that, they could never see what is inside. And that key is a big opening. That's what scares me most.
It is.
It's the unknowing.
Well, maybe we should find out together.
Maybe.
Do you have somewhere to stay tonight?
No. I was probably just going to start walking, but some company on the road might be nice. I'm not known to the world anymore, so
Oh, we have a couch.
Okay.
that would be most suitable for my elderly age.
She's gonna discover the lie and kill everyone, but okay.
I mean, Veda's not dumb. She's gonna find out where you guys are before she
Yeah,
takes
yeah,
you anywhere.
Just Veda and Agatha are now off into an adventure.
Yeah.
New campaign, new campaign.
Those adventure me go do some detective shit and we'll say.
Oh, mate, yeah.
As
I want to know the answers to all the mysteries. Every mystery I want to investigate. Oh, you can never see what's in the vault. Vault, 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 vault.
So as we cut away from that scene, as she begins drinking and says, "Right, let's go see a king." She cracks her knuckles and begins walking out, seemingly inviting you along, Veda.
Oh no.
As Fig,
Veda's just following along.
Kill the king, open the vault, find the murder wives.
Kill the king.
I'm ready.
Revolution. Woo!
as Fig eventually comes to and changes back.
Oh my god. It worked, guys, it worked. I'm in so much pain.
Emlyn,
Cure wounds on himself.
Okay.
Emlyn does give him a proper hug.
Oh, ow. Oh, thank you, Emily.
And Malara helps you up.
They stay for like a little bit too long and pat you on the back and then pull away and then don't really say anything again. They just like nod. That's Emlyn being very emotional. So
Really cute. And Fig enjoyed it.
It's Malara says, "Well, I'm glad you're not properly dead. I was hoping that we were not just staring at a corpse for the next few hours. But I'm glad that you're safe."
I'm glad too. It went pretty well. Although it hurts so much, but that's okay.
Yeah, I think you would probably want to move your limbs around a bit so you're not, getting stiff as a corpse.
Yeah, he moves a bit. You can hear his like elbows creak. And he's like, ah. Yeah, that's not a really pleasant spell to experience. Actually, it's really horrible. Because I was like, awake for the whole thing.
Oh.
I just couldn't do anything.
That's unsettling.
Yeah. Anyway, let's go home.
Yeah. Where's Veda?
I don't know.
she went to talk to Agatha.
And I think we heard them leave, but Veda hasn't come back.
Well, maybe that's a good thing because it means we can't run into Agatha.
Not like it's a problem though.
But she'll be expecting you to be real sad about your uncle.
I can act sad. I am sad.
Well, all right.
Come on, let's go. And he stands up and he kind of dusts himself off.
Okay. Are you just heading back to your apartment?
Are we?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Okay.
If Vado's going anywhere, probably back to the apartment.
Yeah, well, may as well check there first, and then if not, maybe wait a couple of hours and then get really worried. Veda's the only person that can contact us from long distances, so
Then I'm sure she would if she was in trouble.
Yeah, where else could she possibly be going?
as we cut to Agatha and Veda purposefully walking straight towards the palace district. As guards are curious about this pair, very eagerly moving towards a district they're not really supposed to be. Gates in front of them where 6 guards defend it. One of the guards tries to grab onto the shoulder of Agatha, and with lightning quick reflexes, she grabs the guard's wrist, and with a scream from the guard, she twists it and snaps his wrist as he collapses in pain. And she says, "You're fine," and pushes him out the way, simultaneously healing him as he fades in and out of consciousness. The guards look stunned and shocked, not knowing what to do. But they just begin escorting her through. She must be someone important. Unfazed by the force, she now continues walking towards the palace. And the palace continues on from the Merchant's Run, this massive street. Even though it's a couple of days away from King's Day, the upper district is very quiet, pleasant. People in expensive furs and well-made thick cloaks and tunics with ruffled sleeves and billowing pants. The shops all stand with bodyguards outside them. The kind of shops you'd find are like tailors, jewel crafters, steamed weapon and armor smiths. Off the main street, you begin to see more townhouses and manors rather than the cluster streets with apartments and flats that you're used to. And people all begin now just looking at this fire genasi and paladin old lady being escorted by 6 people. As you approach the palace, this massive manor of a house that sits at the top of the Merchant's Run, the palace guards are way more intense than the ones that you've already met, and they seem to be the largest people that they could possibly get. Maybe some sort of Goliath type behind it, in full plate armor, a full face, great helms. There's like this square-like helmets, nasty looking maces with a tower shield in front. As they see Agatha and Veda approach, they hold up their shield in defense and ask, "What is happening here?" She does not stop, and with a powerful kick, backed with some divine smite, sends the guard flying through the gate as she just walks over them with grace and into the palace grounds. A beautiful garden lies beyond the wall, with knee-cut hedges outline garden for playful wandering as you see nobles and clergy walking around happily, and nothing but hardy winter plants are left. The palace expands hundreds of feet to the east and west, and is 5 stories tall. You can see multiple tall windows down the walls, but in the front entrance, it has one stained glass depicting Lathander choosing the Zundarian descendants' great power. He surrounds them in gold and 3 slain dragons around them. In this area, you see 4 patrols of 6 to 8 guards, all wearing their armor, and they all turn towards all this havoc that she has created. And she commands, "I am Agatha the Barer, a knight of the setting sun. Move, or you'll face my wrath." Immediately, all weapons are drawn, and they all look at her stunned as they slowly just withdraw her weapons. She looks towards Veda. Kids these days just don't know any respect. She looks towards them. Know a hero when you see one. Don't they teach you anything in schools anymore? As she enters into the palace, now escorted by close to 50 guards, she unsheaths her sword, scraping along the marble floor. The palace itself opens up into a grand hall around 150 to 200 feet long, and it has no major support pillars, but the roof arches down to small pillars to the left and right that lead you into the doorways deeper into the palace. Everything is built to accentuate the throne as you enter, which stands on a higher plinth above everyone else. The throne looks like it's carved from a boulder that once lay at the top of this hill, as the palace was built around the throne. It's no throne to fit any normal human size. It is intimidatingly large, with stairs that lead up to itself, with various engravings of victories over conquered kingdoms, with room for more carvings if needed. Many of the servants are rushing around, getting things ready for King's Day, and now many backing off, seeing all the commotion. It seems to be a main banquet hall, but nothing is prepared yet, and some court is in order with some nobility and conversations. And sitting upon the throne, flanked by his predecessors, the king Himrul Semitis Zundaria, all with his long flowing blonde hair, and the eldest looking upwards of 80 with silver running through it, advising him on the issues at hand, wearing the ceremonial plate armor gold to match their hair. On the backs, massive great swords, except the king's, which lies at his side, seemingly ready for a fight to break out any minute. Agatha reaches the base of the steps and drives her sword deep into the stonework at the base of the throne. I am Agatha the Barer. My blood debt has been paid, but I remain an oathbreaker. I will not swear or bend a knee to a tyrant king, nor will I take orders from any clergy under your rule. The Night of the Setting Sun are disbanded. The sun has set, and Lathander has left me. And the darkness calls. He can keep his powers. Another has made themselves known to me. Silence falls upon the room. The king on the throne looks confused and looks towards Hjalmar, speaking up. You are dismissed from your duty, and may the darkness consume you whole. And this, good counsel, men and women, is why we need stricter rules within the outer city. A once noble knight turned away from the light to pursue darkness and hate. Such heretical talk can only be influenced by Timora and the false god Amunator. Stricter rule needs to be on the church. As put forth by my proposal, clerics should be heading out on missionaries to eradicate these dark thoughts, and effective immediately. Chattering and confirmation encouragement sounds from all the nobles. And Agatha, extremely irate, turns around shouting, This is not the last we will see of each other, leaving her sword buried into the marble.
Oh shit. Nice.
Ooh.
That's some intense business there, bro.
I feel like Veda should have disguised self at some point along the way there.
You can definitely if you want to, because I was having a big rant. If you thought, yeah, that's fine. Like I was going on a whole tangent, so if you were like, Veda's turning into someone else because I don't want her to be seen with this crazy old woman.
Yeah, I was going to say, I feel like the closer they got to the castle, like, Veda is very much enjoying it and taking it all in. But, like, if it gets to a point where they're getting kind of, like, close to, like, storming right in, I think she would probably disguise herself as some other person who's just with Agatha rather than... Because she's quite distinctive looking.
Yeah.
Okay. That's... I think that you can work
Just
that.
disguise herself as a very average looking, like... Maybe like another kind of knight looking lady,
Sure.
but like with a really indistinct face. Like if you're trying to describe her, you'd be like, yeah, she's just normal looking. nothing very distinctive.
Average height, average weight.
Yeah, everything average.
Yeah.
Medium.
And that's where we'll end tonight's session. Thank you for listening to Draw Your Swords. You can follow Draw Your Swords at DYS Podcast. That's DYS Podcast on Instagram and Twitter. And if you liked this episode, give the show a 5-star rating on iTunes or subscribe on YouTube. It really helps us out a lot. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.